the day of Lord Matthew Prideaux's funeral. Peter Owens, you find yourself preparing the body of Lord Matthew Prideaux.
Here we go, my lord. I'll lift you up. There you go, lord. We all end up in the same place, don't we? Despite our status. Right. What are you hiding here? It's most of the people have the courtesy of arms at their sides. Let me just crack these open. Okay. What the hell's wrong with this man's hands? The fingers are like webbed. What's this skin between the fingers? I don't understand. Hello? What's this? Is this a book? It's been just... I don't understand. Is it... I'll take this for later. I'll take this for later. I'll just put this aside.
Peter, in the distance you hear your voice being called. Peter! Peter, where are you? I need you!
Oh. Peter stuffs the book into the back of his trousers. And then he's like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's the matter?
You hear some shuffling. You probably have a few seconds before you recognise the voice. It's Reverend Giles Marsh, the head of the Heart of the Sea Chapel. Is there anything you do in those few seconds?
He stuffs the book down the back of his pants and he puts the arms sort of back in the position that they were before he moved them. And then he sort of like he'll just sort of head towards the voice and he'll be like, yes, Mr. Marsh, yes.
Just before you do, putting those arms back in place, rigor mortis is set in. Is this something that you do in terms of you're actively aiming to get the arms exactly back where they were, or is this a quick, I need to put the arms back where they were? Is this strength or is this dexterity?
Oh, it's a very quick maneuver, so it's got to be dexterity. And that is a 41 over 55. That's a regular success.
You hear a sharp snap in each arm, but you do put them back in the place they were. You notice the suit in the arm might be slightly bulging in an area where a bone may have cracked and pushed the skin, the bone protruding, not perhaps breaking the skin, but at least creating a lump. But the arms are back in their place without the book beneath them. You have successfully squirreled away the book that you found upon the body of Lord Matthew Prideaux, and the arms are back in place as if this restful individual is ready to be taken to Prideaux Manor for the family to observe and pay their respects. Oh, Peter, I'm so glad that you're here, taking care of Lord Prideaux, I hope with the absolute due respect and care.
Oh, yes, Mr. Marsh. Yes, Mr. Marsh, of course. Only the best afforded for a lord, of course. He's right to train, just a little bit of, we just need to do the usual, and he'll be fit to present at the funeral.
Oh, very good, very good. Peter, during the service, I would very much like you on hand, if that's something you're agreeable to. By that, I mean, I want you there.
Yes, sir, but I hate to say it, sir, but if it's extra work, can I not get some extra pay? Just for one day?
Peter, come on now. I understand that you need extra money for your daughter.
Have I not been so good to you, sir? I mean, all the things you asked of me. I mean, they're... I hate to say it, sir, but they're not usual. Please, can I not just get a little bit of extra for what I've done?
Peter,
you?
I will. Because it's you. And because of what you do for the church, what you do for our Lord, the sustenance you provide him is an act that only the most devoted are able to do. And I will grant you these few extra pennies, Peter, for your wife, for your child, and I will go one step further, my boy. I will pray for you this evening and your family, and pray that you are in the dreams of our sleeping Lord, and he has a watchful eye on you and your family, and pray that if you are so lucky that your wife and daughter may be the chosen ones in the nearing days. Would you like me to do that, Peter?
Yes, of course, sir. And my wife and my daughter, they can't wait to come back to town, sir. They were so sad that they had to leave at such short notice, but they can't wait to come back because they miss the church, sir.
As soon as they're back, we will hold communion in celebration of their return. You let me know. I will make sure we hold a special event for when they're here, Peter. I promise you this, because you have been so loyal and you have given so much of yourself. It is only right that the heart of the Sea Chapel see that you dream, and that your dreams come to fruition.
Thank you, sir. I'm so grateful of everything you've done for us. Honestly, I'm so grateful.
Very good, Peter, very good. As I say, I'll need you here at the service, but until then, have the coffin taken up to Prideaux Manor. The family there need to pay their respects. When you return, there is a new chosen that must be taken to the spa.
Sir, just...
You serve the Lord, do you not, Peter?
I do, sir. Yes. If you can just give me the details, and I'll do whatever you say, sir.
You'll find the body in the usual place. Have them taken there. Kinnersley will do the rest.
Yes, sir, of course.
But remember, this is God's work, Peter. This is God's work. You understand?
Yes, I've seen your gods. Yes.
Our gods, Peter. Our gods.
I've seen our gods, sir. I'll make it work.
You will make it work, Peter. And I implore you, Peter, for your own safety, do remind me the moment your wife and daughter return to the town.
Of course, sir. They can't wait to be back.
Very good. Well, I must be off. People to bless and communion to give. Peter, always a pleasure, never a chore. I bless you, my child, and I wish you in the dreams of our sleeping Lord.
Mr. Burgess, I think you'll agree that nothing untoward has happened here at all today. But I wonder if you might escort Miss Anastasia as quickly as you can back to Prideaux Manor, whilst I make sure nothing else untoward is going to happen here. If you wouldn't mind, young sir. Oh, leave your jacket.
Yes, sir, I shall. Absolutely, at once.
And the Reverend will put his hand on Mr. Burrows' jacket so he makes sure he leaves it.
And just as Burrows is leaving, Tobias just says, Burrows, I'll be in touch with Miss Anastasia, but through you, please, expect my contact.
I shall wait on it, sir. Yes, we must keep her safe.
Very good, Burrows. Go now.
Right. Come on, Tobias, let's see what's going on.
Burrows, you get to go and try and find Anastasia. I can tell you that the Kingscombe Spa, as you know, the layout is mirrored on either side, so you know the layout. It wouldn't take you long. before you find Anastasia in those washrooms at the far end of the ladies. So you are in the ladies' side of the Kingscombe Spa, but it wouldn't take you long before you get there.
There's definitely a little bit of hesitancy and sort of covering his eyes as he pokes his head around corners and tapping tentatively on walls. And I say, Miss Anastasia, Miss Prideaux?
Miss Anastasia, do you hear Burgess? And if so, do you react?
I think if at some point she does hear Burgess, the most you're likely to hear from her is whimpers coming from a general direction.
And Burgess,
She has,
with those whimpers, you're able to find her location.
Miss Prideaux, has something occurred?
She cannot speak.
Please, come with me, please. Your uncle has instructed me to take you home. Come, we must go.
She weakly follows Burgess.
And as you begin leaving the spa, you begin making your way through the spa on your way out. But just as you do, Anastasia, you can't help looking back as you walk through the ladies' part of the Kingscombe Spa. And you look back through the glass door into the steam room. And you see Lady Hawthorne. Lady Hawthorne, seeing Anastasia and Burgess walking out, clearly Anastasia in some level of distress. Is there anything you do or say, Lady Hawthorne?
I'm going to go to the door and I'm going to look at Burgess and I'm going to say, this is most irregular, Mr. Burgess, but seeing as Miss Anastasia has obviously reacted badly to the steam, I do charge you to take good care of her.
Thank you, milady. Yes, quite so.
And I shall not mention this to my husband.
Oh, you have my most sincere thanks.
Good. Now please take the young lady home, where she may get some rest.
And you find your way, Burgess, into the main corridor, past the assembly room, and out onto the street where, surprisingly, the Prideaux carriage is already awaiting your presence.
I cast a slightly wary glance up at the carriage driver, but if he appears to be the usual one, then I hustle in.
It's the young boy from the manor house that Anastasia has already spoken to. And he almost smiles and nods, jumps down, opens the door for you, and you're able to jump in. And you are within a flash on your way back to Prideaux Manor. Thomas Prideaux, you are on the banks of the lake next to Dun Manor. Can you give me a constitution roll, please, Thomas?
Can do. That is a 53, which assuming with my bonus, is a success.
Then can I ask you to give me a 1d4 and then halve the result, please?
That is a 2, halved is 1.
Then you are unconscious on the lakeshore side for 1 hour. That means when you come to, the effects that you are benefiting from, as you would, in a mechanical sense, recognize, only stay with you for another hour. I'm going to let you think on what you do, Thomas, so that when you come to, and you still feel the effects that you feel, what is it you do? Where is it you go? Charlotte, you are on a boat. You are rocking from side to side. The boat seems a little more unstable than usual, but you know this boat. It's the Devonshire. You see the deck, you see the mast, you see the sail pluming with the wind billowing into it. You see the captain's door. What is it you do, Charlotte?
Charlotte obviously has been here before in her dreams, and they've never ended very well. The first time, she was thrown overboard because a cannon hit it. The second time, she heard a very strange gurgling noise coming from within the captain's cabin, and she's kind of drawn towards that cabin now. But that would be a really bad idea, wouldn't it? to go into that strange dark cabin when there might be a cannonball hitting any time. So I think the first thing that she's going to do is to scan the horizon and just to see, are there any ships out there? Can she see any sort of flashes coming from a cannon's mouth? What's happening right now?
Okay, give me a spot
How is
hidden.
the sea? Is it looking calm or anything else? A spot hidden, was that? Okay.
Yes, please.
Let's see. Oh, what a horrible failure to start the episode. 91 against 44.
But classic Charlotte. That's what we like. That's what we like from Charlotte.
Classic Charlotte. It's not her day.
Charlotte, you look over the side of the boat. Are you staying where you are, propping yourself up, looking to see, are there any boats? What's on the horizon? With a roll like that, you can't even see the horizon, Charlotte. It's not there. And then you turn and you look. And then you look at the sail again. And it's not plumed with the air, because you see fish swimming past the sail. A small school of fish. And the reason you can't see the horizon is because you're underwater. The whole ship is underwater. But you're not struggling to breathe. You look around and you see the rocks. You see no horizon, but plant life. Fish in the distance, shadows moving in and out of each other. Glittering here, glinting there. But the ship seems to be rocking somewhat. But it's not the steady rock, Charlotte, of being on the ocean where you can see the horizon. It's almost like a bang and then a rock. Bang and then a rock. What do you do, Charlotte?
Charlotte's going to look around. Is she alone here? Where's the crew? What's happening? Why is she at the bottom of the sea?
No crew? Yes, she's alone. As far as you can see with your wonderful roll.
How is the ship looking? Does it look as though it's sunk, or is it just merrily sort of sailing along the bottom, trying to sail along the seabed?
What was your roll? A 91 over...
91 over 44. I guess that means something bad.
You can't tell the condition of the ship too well. How many ships has Charlotte seen in her life?
Probably not that many. Obviously, she was on a ship when she went to France and when she came back. But yeah, I say she hasn't made a habit of the ocean-going life.
It's hard to tell. You know the condition of wood. You can tell whether it's brand new, whether it's varnished, whether it's oiled, whether it's broken, rotted. This appears to be relatively well kept, but it's definitely been underwater for some time. It's not rotted, it's not a shipwreck. It's still a ship, it's just sunk.
Given that there doesn't appear to be anybody else around, is the captain's cabin door open or closed?
It's closed.
And can she hear anything coming from inside?
Yes, she can. But I'm going to ask you for a listen roll.
Okay.
And then I'm immediately going to ask you for a constitution roll.
Oh, lovely. The listen was a success. 27 against 27.
Excellent.
And then the con, straight after, is also a success. 34 against 40.
So you listen, really listen. Do you move to listen, or is this just something that you're doing in terms of getting your bearings, getting your sense of this dream? And I would say, Charlotte, at this point, you know you're in a dream.
She's going to try and move towards the cabin a little closer, but she's not kind of within arm's reach of it. She's not going to sort of be knocking on it or leaning up against the door or anything. She's just trying to get her bearings, really.
So as you move slightly closer to the captain's quarters, this door that you've seen before with the word Devonshire written above, and you attempt to get your bearings, you hear from inside a voice that feels that it is full of longing, it is full of pain, and you just hear it saying, "Mother! Mother!" And then almost like a flash, almost like light is being put, like as if someone held a candle up to your eyes. You're having a moment where you see the outline of a face, a man's face before yours, and you just hear broken sentence, broken words. Yo, right, down, sleep, and then it's gone, almost in a quick succession, almost as if this dream world were the real world, and that you were just then having a dream about somewhere else. What do you do, Charlotte?
Given that Charlotte knows she's in a dream, the rational side of her is thinking I should just try and swim up to the surface. I can make it. I can breathe underwater. This is a dream. But the rest of her wants to see what's in that cabin. And she thinks, if I'm really dreaming, nothing bad can really happen to me, can it?
Give me an intelligence roll. So many rolls so quickly, Charlotte. This is fantastic.
Hard success, 10 against 45.
From what you understand about dreams, Charlotte, they're dreams. They are fictions of the sleeping mind. And surely what happens in your dream can't hurt you in the real world. Can it? No. Poppycock, madness, silliness. What would you like to do?
Very slowly, Charlotte reaches out and tries to push open the door of the captain's cabin.
You find the door opens slowly. You hear it creaking as it opens. And inside, it's dark, except for a red glow towards the back and the centre of the captain's quarters. Any bed, desk, cartography setup that would have been in these captain's quarters isn't there. The room is empty. It is barren of everything except this red glow towards the back. And as it glows, you can see that there is a mound behind it. Almost this silhouetted mound behind it. What do you do, Charlotte?
Hello? Is there anybody in here?
Mother!
Is that voice coming from the mound and the red glow?
Give me a power roll, please.
You're determined to make me keep rolling until I fail something horribly,
Not
aren't
at
you,
all.
Newman?
How dare you? Yes. The answer is
well,
yes.
you've got your wish. It's a 78 against 55.
Well, we all know that Charlotte Lambert can never make a success on a power roll, so this is
absolutely
standard for the course. Okay.
Kind of her thing.
You're hearing this voice.
Hello? Is there anyone there?
Stepping out from the silhouette, the mound behind this red glowing orb, you see Philippe, and he walks out from behind the red egg, his hand actually resting atop it as he walks past, stroking it as he walks towards you, and his hand drops to his side, and he speaks to you. Miss Lambert, what are you doing here? No, that's not Philippe's voice. That's Lord Hawthorne's voice, coming from Philippe's mouth.
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was on the beach, and I found something. I found a skull, but it wasn't a human skull. And then everything went dark.
Concern yourself with such things, Miss Lambert. I'm very aware of what you found, but I would ask again, what are you doing here? You are not supposed to be here. This is a place that you are not supposed to be able to find.
It wasn't intentional, Lord Hawthorne. I can assure you that.
He walks up to you, and he stands closer, more appropriate for a conversation, and he looks back as the red pulses once more. Miss Lambert, you are connected to this in so many ways, and yet you are so ignorant of your place in this world. How would you like me to lift the veil? How would you like me to reveal what is behind the curtain?
What will happen if you do? None of this makes any sense. I'm seeing my dead husband. I'm hearing him. He's been following me. I saw him in a church. I saw him at dinner. He says, I'm not a Prideaux. He says, I am done. What does that mean?
I think you know what it means, Miss Lambert. You know what it means. Deep down, inside, you know what all of this means. It's just a matter of seeing. And in here, we see far more clearly than we ever do out there. I am offering you a chance, Miss Lambert, but it is a chance that you will either have to accept or decline, and it will change the nature of your very existence. And I would like you to accept or decline this offer now.
I want to know. I want to know what's happening. Yes. Yes, tell me what it is that you have to tell me. Show me what I need to see.
Give me your hand.
Slightly tentatively, she reaches out and she offers her hand.
Slightly tentatively, Philippe, with the voice of Lord Hawthorne, walks you closer towards the red, pulsing orb, the egg that sits before you. And he says very quietly and very calmly, to see what I see, Miss Lambert, you have to exist in the dreams of the one who sleeps. And he gently places your hand on top of the red egg. Reverend Prideaux, you're in the Kingscombe Spa, and you have had quite a significant encounter. You are still with Tobias Hawthorne in the steam room. You may have moved, you may have gone to get changed. You sent Burgess to get Anastasia, who you heard screaming, and take her somewhere safe. Take her back to Prideaux Manor. Where are you now? What are you doing?
Well, the Reverend is striding down the corridor with Tobias next to him, holding Burroughs' jacket, and he is looking for Kinnersley. And any members of staff that he spots, he shall accost them.
I'm going to say that you see three things, actually. Firstly, when you come out, you see Kinnersley standing there. But then, walking very casually and confidently out of the ladies' half of the Kingscombe Spa, you see Lady Clara Hawthorne.
Oh, my dear Reverend, I don't suppose you've seen Miss Anastasia, have you? I'm afraid she became quite overcome with the heat. It does happen sometimes. There's no reason to be alarmed, I assure you. I'm just rather concerned.
Thank goodness you are all right, Lady Hawthorne. It appears that we have had some sort of intruder. I didn't quite, and he'll look over at Tobias. I didn't quite see what it was myself. There was too much steam in the air. Wasn't that correct, Tobias? But we heard a commotion. We thought there was a prowler on the premises, and we only assumed that Miss Anastasia was scared in some sort of fashion by this intruder into this elusive and illustrious spa you have here, Mr. Kinnersley. Is it something that the riffraff can wander in off the street and frighten young girls, that they're overcome? And I'm so glad you are okay, and the intruder did not come into the ladies' sections. Heavens above it! It's quite upsetting. I am. And the Reverend will just stumble and fluster, almost waiting for a response.
Kinnersley is just bowing his head and just kind of in an apologising way, but he's looking to Lady Hawthorne because she is the superior. Yes, I should
think so too. Yes, Kinnersley, this is not on. If there is an intruder, you must make sure that the staff thoroughly comb the premises to ensure that our guests are safe. This just will not do.
Huge apologies, my lady. I will make absolute reparations. People aren't allowed to just walk in here, Reverend. I apologise for your experience that this has been the case. Perhaps this was one of the staff, and they were engaged in some of the cleanliness activities that we incur here at the Kingscombe Spa. I do apologise profusely, and to you, Lady Hawthorne, I can only offer my sincerest apologies. You know that I would never, ever do anything that would put the spa or the family's names in jeopardy. Please forgive me. I will make sure that a gift basket is sent immediately to Miss Anastasia to make sure that any misunderstandings are acquiesced as quickly as they can be. Reverend, please, is there anything that I can do for you to make up for such an unusual situation?
I have to admit, it has been quite an upset for me. I was expecting so much more. I think I'm going to get changed, and I think I'm going to take a walk to clear my hair. Mr. Kindersley, if it's all right with you, I shall be in touch. Lady Hawthorne, if you'll excuse me.
Of course, Reverend. I cannot apologise enough that your visit to our wonderful spa has been disturbed in such a manner. I will make sure it's looked into properly.
Gosh, yes, that's very, very kind of you. And Reverend will grasp the jacket and wander off into the changing rooms and hopefully be left alone.
Absolutely. Well, Tobias goes with you. Just to change. He seems quite skittish. He seems quite perturbed by the incident as well.
Okay, when the opportunity arises, he will say, "You all right, Master Tobias? It must have been quite a shock for you. I wasn't sure what we saw. Were you sure of what we saw, young man?"
No, I
didn't think so.
Too was
so.
perturbed by the incident. I just hope that you and Anastasia. I really hope that Anastasia's okay. It was quite a fright.
You are a good man. You are a good man, Master Tobias. And if there's anyone that can look after Miss Anastasia, it has been our good friend, Mr. Burgess. He is quite an up-and-coming gentleman, I have to admit. He's holding himself well. I fear he might be one of these new industrialists one will have to keep an eye on. But was there anything you were going to say before our little excitement? And he'll look around again.
Well, with Mr. Burgess's absence, Reverend, I feel that I should tell you that Burgess is in the employ of my father. Jolly good for him. I'm not sure of the finer details, Reverend, but I'm sure you understand that means your level of faith and trust in him shouldn't be as wholehearted or as invested, perhaps, as you think it should be.
Master Tobias, I have been alone since I arrived in Kingscombe, and I fear I shall be alone for a very long time till I figure out quite what is going on here. I am a Prideaux, and I feel something is amiss here. And he's going to choose these words carefully. I do not feel the organization of this town is quite what Lord Matthew Prideaux had in mind. Perhaps you might be able to tell me quite how he died, as I hear the mayor of the town died in a duel.
That duel was with my father. Palmer, he was beginning to see that the town should be run in a different way. These were ideas that were fueled to by Lord Matthew Prideaux. For some reason, something had happened, and Lord Matthew Prideaux And these are conversations that I've overheard, you understand, from my father talking with my mother, and you must understand that I'm saying what I'm saying, but it also puts me in a very difficult position, Reverend.
I appreciate that. And
And
as I
in
said,
front of my mother, if this was to be discussed, I would deny it with extreme caution. You understand?
and so you should. Your family is your family. And as I say, I am standing alone here. In the wind, anything you may tell me to shield myself would be very, very much appreciated.
Whatever Lord Matthew Prideaux was trying to change, whatever big plan for the town that my father and done and he once had, what Lord Matthew had changed. He had become more caring. His morals changed, and my father and Lord Dunn, they said that they couldn't let his humanity get in the way.
And did they have a duel?
I'm afraid it wasn't as noble as that. I believe that Lord Matthew met his fate in a most disreputable manner. I don't know the details, but I believe he was set upon when he was least expecting it.
Yes, we have encountered a person. I wouldn't trouble you with our additional burden of our one Mr. Jenkins. And he'll look for a reaction.
You give me a psychology roll, please.
Oh, not a chance.
There's always a chance.
70 versus 36. He's not that good a judge of character. Most people are offering him tea and biscuits.
No. You don't sense that there's any recognition in anything that you're saying about a Jenkins?
I do need time to process this, and of course, everything we have said here is of utmost secrecy, shall we say. There is one thing I must ask you, and this may sound strange, but the pieces are coming together, and if you answer me this question in a certain way, I think I shall know the answer to a great many things. Tell me, Master Tobias, did we play together as children by the bridge with a symbol underneath it? If so, how did that symbol get there?
No, Reverend. It wasn't me. It was one of my brothers. I mentioned to Miss Anastasia that I am referred to as Tobias V.
Oh.
I believe Tobias I drew the symbol under the bridge, and it was my other brother, Tobias III, that I believe you played with under that bridge.
That is quite some lineage.
I must go. My mother will be waiting, and
Of course,
I must
of course.
escort her
Thank
home.
you for your time, and of course. What a day it has been, Master Tobias. I shall have to clear my head, and maybe catch up with you sometime soon. I would very much like to visit and pray for Lily, if I may.
Yes, Lily would. I'm sure she'd like to meet you very much.
Marvellous, marvellous. We shall, and give my regards to your father as well when you see him, and I shall. Heavens knows what I shall say to him when I see him next, but it has been quite a day, Master Tobias. I genuinely hope you, sir, are all right in yourself. Good day to you.
Please send word when Miss Anastasia is ready for company.
Of course. Good day.
Thank you. And he leaves quickly, scurries out, and is gone. And you find yourself on your own, Reverend.
Does the Reverend have time to flip open the mail inside Mr. Burroughs' jacket pocket to catch up with things?
Oh, you're very welcome to, yes. Searching Burroughs' jacket, you find two items. One is a beautifully cut card, and the other is a torn piece of paper.
The torn piece of paper catches the Reverend's eye, first of all, and he is quite amazed, but also a little worried when he does see what is said. 6 Crane Court, Crispin Street, the book is here, a friend. He almost has a sense of rage. Oh, that Mr. Jenkins. But then, surely it can't be Mr. Jenkins every time. He shall have to have some company on that.
Make a luck roll.
Trip. And then he looks at this lovely wax-sealed letter to the Prideaux family. The Reverend flips open the rather nice wax-sealed letter, breaks the seal, a sign that nobody has tampered with this letter at all. Jolly good. And reads, "The Rabbit's Ball. To the respected family of Mr. Prideaux, residing at Prideaux Manor, Kingscombe. You are all invited to attend Dun Hall for the Masked Rabbit's Ball on Saturday evening, 14th at 7 o'clock. Lord Jonathan Dunn, host, Lady Louisa Dunn, hostess, Miss Emily Dunn, hostess." The Reverend immediately kicks into matchmaker mode and wondering whether Master Thomas and Miss Emily will get along. But then he realizes, this is the Dunn family. And he's trying to think positively because the Reverend is a very nice person in the end and he wants to see the goodness in everyone. But he is also a little put off by the rabbits and the pagan symbols of fertility, and is wondering whether quite he is going to attend such a rabbit ball as, well, maybe it's not the done thing, but he really does want to get out and get some fresh air and just gather his mind together and maybe take a swing past a certain street.
Thomas, you're lying on the shore of a lake. You come to. You feel a certain strength, a certain sharpness of mind as soon as you wake. There is a sharp intake of breath. You feel that you are cold. Your clothes soaked through. But it doesn't bother you. Not now, not at the moment. What do you do?
Thomas stands up, surveys the surroundings. I don't think Thomas recognises where exactly he is, does he?
Can you give me a spot hidden, please?
I can. That is a 20 under... Sorry. That's a 20 under 50, which is a hard success.
You are able to look around. You immediately see this large lake beside you, but just away from the large lake, a few 100 feet, a little bit of a walk, you see another a large manor, not too dissimilar to Prideaux Manor, and you can see that this manor appears to be a little bit away from the town. You look north, and you see the town there before you. And the reason you can see it is because this manor is on a bit of a raised area overlooking the sea. It's quite a beautiful location, very picturesque. You can turn, and almost over the same distance that the manor is towards the ocean, you can see a bit of a cliff edge that overlooks, and it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But you've seen the sun in the sky, dipping, getting close to the horizon. It's getting late. What do you do, Thomas?
Despite any intrigue, I think Thomas, being a gentleman, knows that there's absolutely no way he could knock on the door of a manor house without knowing who lives there, without an introduction. And although it's a fair assumption to assume that there are 3 main families in the vicinity, and from this vantage point, could I see Prideaux Manor and any other manor houses?
Yeah, I think with a hard success, it's not difficult to see. I mean, they're very big, on purposeful visual points within the town. I'm going to say, of course, you can see down the sloping land towards the town. You can see the town. You can see lots going on, all the different buildings. You can see a bit of activity. You can see the big inlet there, the coastland. You can see the river wrapping around the town, and you can see on the northern side of the river is Prideaux Manor, and you recognise it. And then on the back towards the town, but on the far side, on the kind of the northeastern side of the town, you can see another big manor house. So there's the one you're standing by, there's Prideaux Manor to the north, and then to the northeast, there is another one.
So it's safe to assume, or fair to assume, that this is either Dunn or Hawthorne Manor. And considering the last time I saw Lords Dunn and Hawthorne, it was in the same room as Jenkins, I feel maybe the best thing to do would be to avoid any confrontation with the Dunns or the Hawthorns and make my way into the town. I think Thomas will probably be feeling a little on the hungry side. It's been a while since he's eaten anything other than red jelly. So maybe a hostelry of some sort, maybe with cards or dice, just to take his mind off things. Maybe a brandy, a stiff brandy, or a small beer or something similar.
So you're going to start walking into town?
I think it's a very good idea, yes.
Fantastic. Can you give me a fashion roll, please?
Absolutely.
Because you have crawled yourself through water, through tunnels, through mud. I think this is going to be at a disadvantage as well. Sorry there, Thomas.
Oh,
well, yeah. I think there's going to need to be a high success rate as well. You're not looking your best, Thomas.
Right. With disadvantage. No, that is a 63 over 30. Thomas is dishevelled. It's probably lost a shoe in the lake.
Well, do you know? Would you like to tell me your current fashion state, remembering that you have a certain heightened level of existence at the moment, and your clothes might not be your priority?
So Thomas is standing there, sodden clothing. Tailcoat is torn as it caught on the rips. Cuffs of the shirt have come loose. Cravat has been lost somewhere. Breeches torn. A shoe missing a buckle. And all the while, the red veins pulsing through his skin and the glowing of the red eyes which illuminates the now darkening sky. A frightful sight for anyone to see as he hauls his way with renewed vigour down towards the town.
And as you make your way into the town, which you do rather quickly, you think you're almost taking a slow pace, but you arrive in the town almost wondering how you got there this quickly, the movement of your legs, the passage of everything around you. And you see a mother walking with hand in hand, two children, a boy and a girl, walking just as they cross the bridge into town. The boy and the girl are each carrying a small basket of vegetables, most likely from one of the nearby patches, farm areas. And they see you, Thomas. And you'll see that immediately their heads bow. Must be the clothing. Must be something about what you're wearing. But then the little girl peeks up from her little bow, Thomas, and she sees you. She sees you, Thomas. She screams. Her mother looks up. She screams. The boy screams. The three of them screaming together. They run into the town. The three of them are running into the town screaming. And you'll see that the mother, who's holding her child's arms, almost dragging them down the street, is now running to the nearest buildings as she's heading into town. And she is banging on the doors of those buildings and screaming. And she's screaming, saying, "There's a demon! There's a demon! It's coming to kill us! It's coming to kill us all! It's coming to kill us!" And she's banging on the doors, and you see doors opening. You see boarded windows opening up. What do you do, Thomas?
I think Thomas, in his state of mind as he is at the moment, just smiles, grins, and growls out "And a pleasant evening to you too, madam," as he carries on down into the town towards any sign of a public house. And stumbling towards, well, can Thomas see a public house? There must be something down on the waterfront.
Yeah, give us a luck roll. You don't know the town layout that yet, so let's see what happens.
That is a 20 under 34.
20 under a 34. You find yourself walking up to a rather run-down establishment on the dockside. It's you're not in the nice part of the kind of the dockside here. It's not run down as in terrible. The whole place, the Kingscombe as a place is very beautiful and very well looked after and invested in. But it's more about the clientele. It's more about the places like this. And this is a dockside public house called the King's Lament. And you just walk in, is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely. And Thomas just barges his way straight through the door, makes a beeline for the bar. Probably has a small amount of coin in a jacket pocket somewhere. Slams it down and just says, "Give me what you've got." And smiles.
There is about 8 individuals in this public house, and there is a gentleman behind the bar. When you just casually walk in the way you're looking and then sit down and say, "Give me what you've got," 5 of the individuals scream, panic, run out. 3 of them move off to the side. The bartender just almost kind of pushes himself back against the wall. What can I? What do you want? What do you want?
Brandy. And leave the bottle.
And he kind of turns and he knocks over a bottle or 2, which falls off the shelf and smashes on the floor, and he's able to grab one. And he kind of puts it down, and then just almost as a motor function, he kind of leans back and grabs a glass to go with it, and then leaves a glass.
My good man. Have you not seen a gentleman before? Remember your manners, please.
Okay, he passes out. And his head just hits the bar and then boom, lands on the floor. There are 3 gentlemen still in the pub, and they are shaken, but one of them is being pushed forward by the other 2, and he kind of comes forward. Or you can't come in here, mate, and be doing that. You should get out of here, you evil spawn of Satan. Get out now. Come on, this is our place.
Do you not realize who I am?
He's being pushed by his mates from behind. They're like egging him on, and they're standing there kind of like, trying to back him up, but they don't want to speak. You're evil, whatever you is. You're evil. Look at you with your eyes. Get out of here. And he grabs a bottle and he smashes it on the table.
Damn it, sir, I am no demon. La, you call me demon, but if you really knew what lurked beneath this town, I would be the least of your worries. Now allow me a chance to allay your fears. And the one thing that I feel Thomas probably would have in his pocket would be a deck of cards. Now, slightly soggy from the time. You want to take a luck roll for this, aren't you? Well, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm thinking of the state of mind of these 3 terrified individuals. But let's see. Let's have a luck roll and see what happens. That is a 35 under 39. That's just a success. Okay, so you pull it out, and because of the let's say the wax sealed case that they're in, they've actually been able to. Not a wax sealed case. Thomas would have a lovely ivory card case. Very, very waterproof expensive. Ivory. Of course, probably a gift from Cosgrove once Cosgrove realised how much money Thomas was losing to him. Okay, yeah, okay. No, I think that's a fantastic luck roll. I think that's a really lovely way to explain that. So you've got this ivory card case, which you open, and your cards are there. Why don't we sit down like true gentlemen? Have a little bit of casual conversation. And a couple of games, a hand or 2. I'm sure sporting men such as yourself would not be adverse to a little excitement, but if you manage to best me, I shall leave your establishment. I have no qualms about that, but if I win, you must make sure that you listen to my tale and believe what I am telling you about this town, sir.
You're there. Okay, I'm going to need a real high kind of persuade or intimidate roll here.
Bonus die for the red eyes? 2 bonus die?
Well, it depends. Are you persuading or are you intimidating?
I think this is... as much as my persuade is better, I think this is an intimidate.
Okay, yeah.
Fantastic. That is an 11 under 15 with my bonus die. It was a massive failure without.
Okay, so what happens is that there's a look between them. There's a communication between them, and the gentleman with the bottle, he does not let go of it. He sits at the table opposite you, but his 2 companions position themselves kind of behind you, but a few feet away, almost one on each flank. You promise you'll leave.
If you can best me. That's the traditional way of banishing demons, isn't it, sir?
Yeah. Right. He looks at his mates. Well, then you better deal, sir.
I will. A few hands of 21, I feel, is in order. You do know how to play, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Then I will deal. And Thomas deals 2 cards to each man sitting.
Then let's have a gaming roll, please.
That is a 10 under 60, which is an extreme success for Thomas. Oh, he's in his element.
Okay, so you see that they each drop their cards, and one of them, it looks like for this just a second, one of them looks like they might beat you. They rolled an 11. But then you see their card, and you have 21. They have 20. Thomas, the fear and panic that settles into the eyes of these men as they look around the table overwhelms them. They have been making sanity rolls, whilst you have been actively talking to them like, well, dare I say, a man possessed. In this moment where they realise they've lost, they all think that they have also lost their lives and their souls. And they immediately stand up and jump at you to attack you. The man with the bottle goes first, and he jumps at you. But when they move, it's almost as if they're moving in slow motion. It's almost as if these are children running around trying to attack you. What is it that you do, Thomas?
Thomas still has the scalpel up his sleeve.
Yes,
and in
he
a
does.
swift movement, it slides out from under his cuff, and he grasps it in his hand. And he grabs one person by the throat, holds it to the throat without slicing, and said, "Sir, we had an agreement. You will listen to my tale, and then you will tell me everything you know about Jenkins."
Charlotte, your hand touches the egg. You feel a cold ripple shiver through your body. Can you give me a power roll, please?
I can. Ah, a failure. 69 against 55. The curse continues.
Excellent. Not only does your hand touch the egg, you feel it moving through the gelatinous shell, moving through until your fingers disappear and they are covered by this red gelatin substance, almost to your wrist, almost halfway up your forearm. And then, Charlotte, you reach and you touch this body hidden within this egg. You make contact with it, and as your hand touches its head, you see something, Charlotte, beyond anything you've seen before. You've seen the stars align, you see the stars shift, you see waves in the solar system wash upon each other. Each star burning bright, vibrating with radiance. You see things moving between the stars' silhouettes. What you witness, what you see, is incomprehensible. It's beyond anything anybody should see. You have touched the skin of something beyond this world, and it is communicating with you, Charlotte. Can you give me a sanity roll, please?
A hard success of 14 against 44.
I'm going to pretend I'm not disappointed. Charlotte, you are going to lose 3 points of sanity.
Okay.
And as you lose those points of sanity, you look at these vibrating stars and you realize that as they vibrate, as they pulse, as they bounce off each other, they're almost playing music. You can almost feel this rhythm, this beat, this pattern of bouncing from each other, one to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, to another. And you hear this beat, you hear this pattern, and it begins to lodge itself in your brain. One to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, to another. And almost repeats itself in your mind. And you realize that as you look at the stars, they're reforming. And you see them pulsing. One to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, to another. And then as they do, and you see them reforming in this shape, you see that the stars form a face. And you see the mouth moving on this face. And the mouth says to you, one to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, to another. Charlotte, it's your face. It's speaking to you. Like your reflection is speaking to you. Like as if you were looking in a mirror, speaking to yourself. Charlotte, what do you do? What do you say?
Charlotte recognizes that there is some kind of truth here. She's been feeling completely out of place in the Prideaux family for a while, and things started getting better again when she had that nice talk and that nice walk with the Reverend down to the church the other morning. But still, I think she's feeling that there is something about her, something that perhaps Philippe recognized, that is not as it should be, as the world expects her to be. And she wants to know who she is. And so looking up at her reflection in the sky, the stars, and she just asks it, who am I?
Who do you want to be? Who would you like to see?
Something the world won't let me be.
You don't have to be what they want. You don't have to be a debutante.
I thought I was finding who I should be when I ran away with Philippe. I thought I'd be free and I could write and I could devote myself to what I can do and what I'm good at, but that didn't work out so well.
If you truly want to be free, I'll be you and you be me. You see within the stars this unique movement, cosmic movement of the stars, and it's almost as if through the blackness of space and the stars, you see this shadowy hand reach down and reach to you. In the captain's quarters, the roof lifted. Everything that you knew, the red orb, the silhouette of Philippe with the voice of Hawthorne, the walls, the Devonshire, the mast, the sail, all gone. Just you and the sky, you and the stars, you and this darkness, and this hand reaching down to you, Charlotte.
And she reaches out her hand, and she takes the hand which is offered her.
As you take this hand, you see not only the truth of the universe, Charlotte, you see the truth of Charlotte Dunn. Thank you for joining us for Cult and Culpability. Remember, you can find us at www.miskatonicplayhouse.com, and you can also visit the main stage for other scenarios from the Miskatonic Playhouse, with links in the show notes below. Please like and subscribe, and if you can spare a minute to leave a review, it makes a huge difference to other like-minded listeners who will be able to find and enjoy our work. Until next time, when the curtain rises again.